Hi, hello and welcome back to F1 Challenge VB. My name is Mephisto and our journey through the history of Formula 1 continues today with the 11th round of the 1968 season, the United States Grand Prix. It was held on the 6th of October, it had 21 entries, 19 of them took part in the race with 15 ending up retiring. The race consisted of 108 laps completed in 2 hours, 59 minutes and 20 seconds. Andretti started the race from pole but retired on lap 33 thanks to a clutch failure. Stewart was second on the grid, Hill third, Chris Amon started from 4th but retired on lap 60 with a broken water pump. Holm started from 5th and retired on lap 93 after suffering an accident. And Jochen Rindt started the race from 6th but retired on lap 74 after an engine blowout. With Andretti out of the race, Stewart took the lead and won the US Grand Prix from Hill, who crossed the line 24.68 seconds after Stewart. Surtees climbed from 9th into 3rd, he was 1 lap down. Gurney went from 7th to 4th, he was 1 lap down as well. Siffert climbed from 12th into 5th, he was 3 laps down. And McLaren, who started the race from 10th, rounded off the top 6, he was 5 laps adrift. Stewart proved to be the fastest man of the race, posting a time of 1 minute 5.22 seconds on lap 52. Greetings from the fantastic Watkins Glen circuit, where a lap starts off with a very short sprint into turn 1, a fast open right-hander that goes up the hill and leads into turn 2, a fast open left-hander. This leads into turn 3, another fast open right-hander that takes us onto the longest straight of the track, which ends with turn 4, a medium speed right-hander. Next is turn 5, a fast left-hand sweeper that leads into turn 6, a medium-speed right-hander. This is immediately followed by turn 7, a medium-speed left-hander, and after a quick burst of power, we arrive into turn 8, a slow right-hander that brings us around onto the main straight, and that is a lap around the Watkins Glen circuit. And here we are in qualifying for the US Grand Prix, coming around to set our first qualifying lap, a 1:09.350, which isn't all that good, but it isn't very bad either. It's about 1 second slower than pole time as we come around to set another time of 1:09.188. That's quite an improvement, but let's see if we can improve even further, maybe even take pole. That would be quite fantastic as we come around to try and improve on that. And this time it's a 1 minute 8.75. Can we do even better? Yes, here we are coming to set our final lap time, because after this I ran out of fuel. A 1:08.583, that's about 1/10 of a second, almost 2/10 of a second slower than Denny Holm's pole time. However, we will not start from second because the game likes to screw around with me as we take a look at the previous US Grand Prix winners. The last time we won here was in 1966, so wasn't all that long ago, but hopefully things will go well today as well. Anyway, we have Jackie Stewart on pole with Denny Holm in second, Joe Siffert 3rd, 4th, Jean-Pierre Beltois, 5th is Pedro Rodriguez, 6th, Ludovico Scarfiotti. In 7th we have Graham Hill, followed by Bruce McLaren in 8th. Then in 9th we have Jackie X, followed by Richard Atwood in 10th. In 11th we have Joe Bonnier, John Surtees 12th, 13th is Johnny Servoz-Gavin, Jackie Oliver 14th, 15th Jochen Rindt, 16th is Vic Alford, Chris Amon 17th, Dan Gurney 18th, 19th is Andy Higgs, Silvio Moser 20th, 21st is Mario Andretti, 22nd John Love, 23rd Henri Pescarolo, 24th Pierce Courage, 25th is Derek Bell, followed by Kurt Ahrens Jr. in 26th. Then in 27th we have Bobby Unser, followed by Jack Brabham in 28th. 29th is held by David Hobbs. 30th Robin Widows. 31st Dave Charlton and Lucien Bianchi, bringing up the rear of the lineup in 32nd. So we're starting from 19th instead of 2nd because the game likes to do this actually. Mainly because the AI doesn't, or more than half of the AI doesn't qualify at all, and when you click on go to next session, the game likes to generate random lap times for the AI, and that's generally much faster than they would actually be able to. So that's why we are starting in 19th instead of second place, because the game likes to screw with me. Anyway, that was a decent start, although we lost a couple of positions, and now we are gaining them back. We just overtook John Love for 21st, and now I'm looking at an overtake on Silvio Moser. However, as we come into that right-hander, he manages to get back past us on the outside. As we take a look at a replay of the start, a pretty clean start. No one bogged down, no one crashed into anyone else. That's pretty impressive for a 32 car grid, so kudos to the AI for this, I guess, as we are struggling here to get around people. Still on lap 1, and I just overtook Silvio Moser there for 20th. Taking a look at Vic Alford, can we overtake him? Yes, so we overtake Andretti as well, and Johnny Servo's Gavin, so we move up into 17th already. That's pretty good, doing good progress as we start lap 2 here, and there's a car at the side. We move up into 16th thanks to that, so that's quite nice as we try to catch Dan Gurney. And here is a replay of Derek Bell coming through the right-hander, crashes into a car that was at the side of the road there and loses his front left, and the car at the side was Richard Atwood, who loses control of his car, flips quite a few times, and that is his United States Grand Prix over. So those are the first few retirements as we come around to overtake Ludovico Scarfiotti for 15th. Can we overtake Gurney as well? Yes, we can. That's 14th. However, as we come into the right-hander, both Gurney and Scarfiotti managed to overtake us again. Obviously, Scarfiotti doesn't really count, so that is that. Once again, overtakes Scarfiotti for 15th, and chasing after Dan Gurney as again. Lap 3, and Joe Bonnier loses control of his car immensely. He was all over the place. That allows us to catch up to him, and there we go for an overtake. That's 14th. Once again, chasing after Dan Gurney now, who is about 1.5 seconds up the road, coming out of the final corner to end lap 3, and Mario Andretti manages to overtake us as I have a very bad exit out of the corner, but eventually I managed to catch back up to Andretti, and we are back in 14th. Now looking at John Surtees, who is about 0.5 of a second up the road, and Andretti manages to overtake us on the outside through this right-hander. Still on lap 4, and I managed to get around Andretti and Surtees for a brief second, but then I touched the grass on the outside, and which slows me down, so I had to concede my position. Then a little bit later on, Henri Pescarolo manages to overtake us just as we were starting lap 5, but just a little bit later on we managed to regain that position, and we're now looking at John Surtees. We overtake him as well, so we are now 14th, and once again trying to catch Bobby Unser as we take a look at a replay of Jackie X, who is coming around to start his new lap. He pulls to the side, not quite sure why, probably brakes or suspension, as I'm not sure why I wasn't paying attention. I went off the track a little bit there. That slowed me down just enough to allow Pierce Courage to overtake us, so we're now down in 15th. And now on lap 7 I kind of go very wide through this corner. I'm quite surprised I didn't flip the car upside down, but I lost a lot of time and a lot of places. We are down in 18th and eventually move back into 17th, now 16th, as we overtake Henri Pescarolo on lap 13, chasing after Jack Brabham now, who is about 2 seconds up the road. And now we move on to lap 16. We overtook Pescarolo finally. That's 16th, and we now overtake Jack Brabham for 15th, looking at Mario Andretti, but Pescarolo manages to regain his position as we take a look at a replay of Gavin, who is coming around the penultimate corner there. I think that was Dave Charlton who crashed into him. Gavin lost his front right, and he is out of the US Grand Prix as we come around lap 20 here, chasing after Jack Brabham as we take a look at a replay of Bobby Unser coming around to set the fastest lap of the race, so congratulations to him. His rear wing is a bit crooked, but he's somehow the fastest. Lap 23 now, and we just overtook Jack Brabham for 14th, doing quite well, not too good, but doing better than most of the time, as we now move on to lap 26, and We overtake Jean-Pierre Beltois. A few seconds later, I see a massive crash around me. I try to get around it, but there was no room for me, no time for me to actually react to any of that. I crash into the rear of one of the cars, lose my front right, and that is the end of the US Grand Prix for Andy Higgs, which is quite unfortunate. And here are some replays. We see one of the Brabhams there losing control as Robin Widows crashes into him, and then everyone else crashes into that. So that was a very, very big accident. Here is Vic Elford, who also got caught up in that crash, and well, it's total chaos. What can I say? I really don't think, and I would have been able to do anything about that, really, as we now take a look at a replay of Beltois being also caught in this massive accident. There was really not a lot of time to react to any of it. By the time I realized what was going on, there was really no time to react, and it seems so that that was so for the AIS. Well, we just saw Brabham also being caught up, and now we see Jochen Rindt, who kind of started it all, I guess. So yeah, there really wasn't much anyone could have done about that, I think. Well, I could have slowed down preemptively, but I didn't expect that. Plus, I was trying to stay ahead of Jean-Pierre Beltois. So yeah, as we take a look at a replay of Andy crashing into that mess. So that is unfortunately the end of the United States Grand Prix for us. Another disappointing end to what could have been a decent race, I guess, but it looks like 1968 is just here to screw it, Andy. So let's move on. This is lap 27, and this is Dave Charlton moving very slowly. He pulls to the side, flips his car a couple of times, and that is the end of his race. Then here's a replay of Denny Hulme on lap 30, coming through turn 4 actually. Loses control of his McLaren and flips it around quite a few times. That is the end of his race, I guess. Actually, he tries to get back, but then crashes into the Armco, and that is indeed the end of his race. As we now move on to the end of the race, where we see Pedro Rodriguez coming around to win the US Grand Prix. Congratulations to him. That was quite nice. Good for him, I guess. Bobby Unser finishes second. Graham Hill third. Fourth. Eamon fifth. Siffert Stewart sixth. So those are the people who managed to finish the race, and here are the retirements. Unfortunately, once again, we number ourselves among them. This is the 9th retirement of this 12-round season, so not a particularly good season for Andy, but not much we can do about that now, I guess. So let's move on, and here are the career statistics. This was Andy's 172nd Grand Prix. His best start is from first, has 16 pole positions, has set 29 fastest laps. His best finishes in first, has completed 102 races, 79 of them in the points, has won 44 Grand Prix, 4 at the Indianapolis 500, 6 in Monaco, has 8 championships under his belt, has scored a total of 530 points, has retired 70 times, has experienced 3,549 out of 4,479 laps, has 8 bronze trophies, 17 silver trophies, 44 gold trophies, and as an extension 44 podiums. And here is a quick look at the championship standings. Pedro Rodriguez moves into the lead of the championship, with X dropping into second, Eamon third, Graham Hill fourth, fifth, Bobby Unser, sixth is Richard Atwood, Andy Higgs drops to 13th. The last person with points is Johnny Servoz-Gavin in 26th, and bringing up the bottom of the drivers' standings is Van Rooyen down in 40th. So those are the drivers. Let's now move on to the constructors, where we have Scuderia Ferrari leading the Constructors' Championship with Owen Racing in second, Gold Leaf Team Lotus third, Bruce McLaren Motor Racing fourth, fifth are Rec Parnell Racing Matra International sixth, Bayerische Motoren Werke AG drops to ninth. The last team with points are Joe Bonnier Racing Team down in 17th, and bringing up the bottom of the constructor standings are John Love racing down in 21st. So that was the US Grand Prix. Once again, another very disappointing race for Andy. But again, I really don't think there was much I could have done there. There was not a lot of time to react to any of it. By the time I got close enough to realize what was actually happening, it was already too late. I tried to veer away, but it was already too late at that point, so it's kind of unfortunate, but that is that. Anyway, our next race is a Mexican Grand Prix, which incidentally is the final race of the season, so hopefully things will go a little bit better there, but once again, I'm not holding my hopes too high because, well, this season wasn't very nice to us, now was it? But that is the end of this video. Don't forget to vote for next season's team, link is in the description. Also, don't forget to continue sending in your name suggestions for Andy's son. The rules are as established at the beginning. I will only accept one name per person, and try to remember to type name suggestion in the comments. That way it will be a little bit easier for me to find these comments at the end of the season, when I will want to gather up all these names and compile them into a straw poll for you guys to vote for during the next season, which is going to be Andy's last. But yeah, that is it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.